Right, in this cubby hole, we have Mr. Robbie Fulks and his lovely guitar.
It's too noisy?
No. It attracted me in, Robbie. We're in Strathpeffer just before the Square Wheels house concert. We've been travelling up and down the length and breadth and on the islands of the Highlands of Scotland. We were in Jura about this time last week. And you did Belladrum Festival, so I suppose start at Belladrum Festival. What was your impressions of that
It
event?
reminded me of Wakarusa over in the States, you know? It was like a kind of, well, not exactly hippie-ish, but there was some mud and some hippies and some good times and
Yeah.
a good laid-back time. No danger in the air, not a lot of competitive spirit, but real laid-back, but a big event. You know? I liked it.
Yeah. And any music that stuck out apart from the Kekons? I should mention that
From that day,
you're working with the Kekons, yeah, that day.
I'm embarrassed to say I didn't see. I saw one or two
Yeah, it's always
acts,
the way,
so
though.
I have so little to choose from. We were kind of in and out.
Yeah, it's always the way, really, because you've always got a gig the next day and something to get done.
And I'm always drunk in the artist tent right after. So
I was trying not to mention that.
rewind, erase.
Yeah. So yes, and then off round Scotland, and you've only been to Edinburgh and Glasgow. It's Scotland, but you haven't really experienced the.
The true Scotland, as Sarah Palin calls it. Yeah, I haven't been to that till this week.
So impressions of that in a nutshell. Difficult.
Just hideously beautiful landscapes. Weather that is windy enough to dry your clothes, but too rainy to really dry them. Of course, you know the people are nuts. The people are hospitable, and so much liquor being sold everywhere.
Unbelievable amount of whiskey. It has been a celebration of music and whiskey in the whole trip, hasn't it?
People say maybe I'm not getting a full representative slice. We did walk into a slightly dangerous bar this morning, but I think that everywhere we've gone, people are so interested in culture broadly defined and music and art and writing and poetry, but also drinking. So that's my world. I love it.
Certainly, understood. Mr. Fulks, for those that might not know, you're a hillbilly at heart. You're a country boy at heart, aren't you?
I guess so. I mean, I was raised in the country, but and I wanted to get away, and I did, and I've lived in a city ever since, or near a big city at least, and that's how my kids have been raised.
Okay.
But in middle life, I look back on it, and I'm kind of glad that I came up with a kind of distinctive way of living rather than a bland suburban way of living.
And you were born off musicians yourself?
Yeah, my parents play, my grandparents, my uncles and aunts, everybody kind of played.
Is it a dynasty thing? It seems to be in
Is it what thing?
A dynasty? Are there folks that people would recognise as musicians down through the ages?
No, I don't think so. My brother has made a good name for himself as a professor, and he does sort of modern classical music.
Okay.
So I mean, people in that world might know him.
Yeah. Now in Chicago, eh? Are you in Chicago in that area? And that's where you met the Kekons at the label mates, and John's instigated that label in many ways. John Langford, of who we speak.
He was in it from the beginning, and so was I. And we met for the first time just maybe 2 years before that label sort of set up shop and started going. And my friendship is principally with him, and sort of secondarily with Sally. If I had to rank it, I know Sally a little less well, but I know them both pretty well. And the other Kekons, I've known Steve Goulding for quite a while, but the rest of them I just met this week.
You've got to know them over this week, as I have as well. Bloodshot it has the name of a alt country label. Does that fit easily with how you are? You're kind of more your country, but you have that diverse element to your playing where you're not holding it back, are you? It might be off the form, but your playing in itself is experimental and wild at times. Am I being accurate?
Yeah, I don't know what to. I call it country when people ask. You know, when my neighbors say, "What do you do?" I say, "I play country music," and they, of course, they instantly get the wrong idea. But I strongly identify with, you know, players, country players. You know, anybody from, you know, Grady Martin to James Burton and those guys I love, and I emulate them a lot.
And your songwriting,
as far as songwriting, Hank Williams, Bill Anderson, people
it's
like
the golden
that.
era of country, isn't it?
I love those writers. But if I want to do something that's off the path of that, then I'll just do it. You know, I don't have an audience, so nobody's telling me not to do stuff.
That's been a bit modest, that's for sure. But I suppose that's
Thanks for backing that up.
I'm on it. I'm on the case for you. Don't worry. But I mean, Bloodshot must be of that ilk. It must be free because there's such a free radical spirit within the label itself. Anyway,
I think so. You know, their tastes are narrower than mine, and have been from the beginning. But that's true of most people. I have like unusually broad tastes, and also their tastes have I think they've kind of broadened and shifted a little bit over the 20 years that they've been a label. So I'm really comfortable with them at this point, and they haven't said no to anything that I've turned in a long time. So
and they back up their artists as well. They do a lot of work.
Yeah, they're good to work with.
Yeah. So a few albums under the belt now. This latest one, how's it going? It's kind of more acoustically based than has been a Robbie Fulks albums in the past. Is that accurate?
Yeah. It's a small acoustic band record. There's 5 of us on it, and there's just a little bit of plugged-in stuff on 2 songs, but nobody's gonna hardly notice that.
Yeah.
And it's mostly, you know, mandolins, fiddles, guitars, string bass, a little banjo, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and some bluegrass and old-timey elements. Strong.
Right.
Strong in this
without
one.
being exactly either of those things. Yeah.
Well, it's. I'm sure it's doing great for you. I certainly have been playing that on the show, and you have been selling them well as well on the tour.
Yeah, I would say so. It's my best-selling record since 1998, and it's my best received record. So, you know, 12 records into my thing, I'm very happy that that's the case.
Yeah. What's the next then, Robbie? Where are you off to now?
In terms geographically?
Yeah, geographically and professionally as well. Have you anything that you're particularly looking forward to doing in the next one?
Many things, yeah. A couple of things I wouldn't talk about just, you know, because they're in process and I don't want to jinx them or you know, in case they don't come to pass. But I'm working on a new record. I'm working on one sort of production. I'm working on a couple sort of I don't know, what would you call them? More visual music with image ideas with some people, and but mostly the next record is what I'm working on. I'm finishing the writing of it now, and hope to have it out next year.
Where are you recording that?
Where?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you're still working on the songs?
Just finishing writing the songs. Yeah.
Oh well. Well, all the very best, Robbie. It's been a great pleasure touring with you.
Man, it's been a great pleasure riding in the van with you driving.
It's been great. Yeah, the whole thing's been great. Thank you very much, Robbie. You can get Robbie Fulks' stuff at robbiefulks.com, I would imagine. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And would you play us out of this little interview with a bit on their guitar?
Well, I've been hounding her for such a long time. Is this video?
Yeah.
Trying to impress her with my hillbilly whine, but she told me I was barking up the wrong tree. She liked every kind of music but country. Every kind of music but country. She liked it fast, she liked it loud, she liked it funky. She liked everything about me except for one thing. She liked every kind of music but country.
That's it, folks. Robbie Fulks, live in Scotland. Sorry. Those flying fingers.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.